Empath Survival Guide: How to Make Your Personality a Superpower. Embrace the gift of empathy, learn how to protect yourself from narcissistic relationships, and welcome your happiest self. Written by Helen Stone. Narrated by Donna Johnson.
Introduction. There is a unique breed of individuals who are gifted with the ability to not only experience their emotions and those of the people around them, they can also experience the physical pain of other people. These individuals walk into a room, and within minutes, they can accurately pick on the vibes of the people in the room. This may sound like a cool superpower that belongs on the set of X-Men, but in reality, it is something that can be very difficult to deal with. Not many people are emotionally and mentally equipped to manage these gifts. You may identify such persons as people who are overly sensitive. Psychology experts profile them as empaths, and their story is not always one of those happily ever after types. For the longest time, emotions have been frowned on as a weakness, and displaying them was described as a feminine trait at best. In worst-case scenarios, people who showed their emotions one too many times were regarded as persons who have no control over how they feel. Derogatory terms like unpredictable, walking eggshells, crybaby, and so many other names that are not fit to print are used to tag people who dare show their emotions. The general negative perception about emotions has woven itself into the very foundation of society, which is the family. There are a lot of families today who enforce strict measures to deter any display of emotions at home. This need to shut down a very crucial aspect of oneself has led many to suffer silently for a better part of their lives. For an empath, they live with the double trauma of dealing with their own emotions as well as the pain of others. This leaves them constantly emotionally overwhelmed. If you picked up this book, chances are you are an empath, or you know an empath who struggles with their emotional burden. But what if I told you that those very emotions that you feel cripple you in your ability to thrive could be channeled into making you a better version of yourself, and in so doing, you can enrich your life? Sounds too good to be true, right? Well, there is one truth that many of us have heard, but don't really believe because they've been dumped in the same category as those ineffective life cliches people dish out. Your emotions are anything but weak. In fact, it is described as one of the most powerful forces possessed by humans, and before we go any further in this book, I can tell you that shutting down your emotions is not going to do you any good. The only way forward is to embrace those feelings by choosing to accept your abilities as an empath. Being an empath goes beyond understanding your emotions. As an empath, you embrace the emotions of others. The wealth of understanding you acquire in this process gifts you with a unique perspective of the world and the people that you encounter daily. This goes a long way to help you foster relationships that are more meaningful and impactful. Most importantly, as an empath, you develop a deeper connection with yourself that truly empowers you to understand pain. This is not some new age psychobabble fad that is trending at the moment. This is you taking back the power from people who have tagged the way you truly feel as weak and evolving into the real you that you are meant to be. With this book, you can finally take off the mask you have been forced to wear by the society and step into your reality. As an empath who had to navigate the process of my becoming without a guide, I know how difficult to make sense of how to feel. I spent lots of hours daily scouring through the internet for information on these rainbows of emotion that I go through every day. I've come close to several breakdowns, not because I had a lot of bad experiences or that I was taking on more workload than I normally would. I was just constantly overwhelmed by what I was feeling. People would come to me with their problems because I had a knack for being such a great listener, and I could connect with them in ways that they found comforting. However, I also ended up having to deal with the emotional aftermath of their predicaments. I sought counseling, and for a while that helped me. But I still sought validation from the people I deal with on a day-to-day basis. I didn't want to crumble emotionally in front of them so that I could keep being their go-to counselor. This meant I had to act like I had my life together 100% of the time, even if in reality it felt like I could barely keep the seams from falling apart. In very second terms,
Sample complete. Ready to continue?